Hi, guys, and welcome back to Finding Your Indie. And we are here on a Random Fact Thursday. This is where we just discuss some fun things that have happened over the last month or so. Actually, not
Maybe
even
not,
necessarily,
yeah, maybe not so fun things.
maybe not so fun things, just information that we feel like you need to have. It might not fit in with a brand, might not fit in with an ad, but it really just comes down to, remember, we're talking about marketing and ads here at Finding Your Indie. I'm Bonnie Paulson.
And I'm Mandy Stevens.
And we are going to just dive in today. And this is, since we're not really how-toing it, we're more discussing, you're just along for the ride. So we're going to be having one of our conversations about what happened in April. And this is this actually is with Facebook ads. So fortunately, this is a specifically an ad account situation that happened. Let's just kind of talk about what happened. So Mandy, we had noticed that there was a lot of fast ad spend that weekend. And we'll put the reports as they're zinging around. But an ad client reached out to you.
Yeah, an ad client tagged me in a article that was about it. And it was like on a Sunday, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not really on Sundays," but I popped in, and I was like, "Oh crap!" So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So then we started doing some digging, and these are the reports that we found. And there's, because we don't like to look at just one source of anything. So we found 5 or 6, maybe 7 that we actually correlated with each other and discussed it. And so we're going to link those in our description below so you can read along with us. Or if you want to just reference them for later as well and do your own research, we're putting the sources that we used down below. But essentially, let's just sum it up for them. What happened is a bunch of ad spend, like a whole bunch of ads. The budget was spent by 10 a.m., 10 a.m., depending on where you are in the world, right? Whatever. But it was spent by a certain amount of time that day, which means
More sales later in the day.
yes.
So it was a big Facebook glitch. Huge glitch.
Huge. And I think a couple of the reports were saying that it was one of the biggest glitches that Facebook has had in a number of years, not just a couple months, but a number of years. It was such a big deal. A lot of advertisers were asking for refunds because it was such a massive hit. And so we noticed it because we noticed that there was lower sales that day with our clients, or that weekend with our clients. And then we also noticed that the ad spend was like nothing was happening after, I think it was 11 my time. And it was like, why are these ads not, I'm not seeing ads. There's no censoring. There's no CPCs like increasing or decreasing. The impressions haven't adjusted. What is happening right now? And so that's when we started talking, and, I was like, okay, I'm wondering what's happening. I was wondering what was happening. Maybe it was just reporting, whatever. Mandy sent me the article and I was like, oh, we need to do some research on this.
I don't think it affected all of my clients.
Right. I think
but it definitely affected a few of them.
Yeah, I had 7, I think, that were affected. And so what I had to do was I went in and I applied for each of them that it did affect for their refund, because that's what that's what it led towards. The advertisers were asking for refunds. So it wasn't like I was asking for a refund. We're going to actually talk about that a little bit later, but it was like I was requesting that they look at the account and see what happened, which is the first step. Why does this matter to authors? Why is it such a big deal? I think we talked about it. Right? It takes your money. But if you notice your performance over time, and I made notes about this because this is kind of a big deal. If you notice your performance over time, you might have noticed that your weekend spend was the same and earlier, and you were, whatever, you spent it early, but that your conversions were lower as well as your sales. And so it's kind of like, wait, what just happened? What happened? This is not normal for my weekend. The market fluctuation.
Weekends are usually really good. So
yeah, exactly. So check out the market fluctuation video just so you kind of understand what we're talking about when we talk about market fluctuation. But again, if the market is, you're in the middle of the pendulum and you're supposed to be making sales and suddenly this weekend did not do so great, I think that's when we notice things. You might need to reach out and request information if it did affect you. I know that we're in the process of reaching out and getting more info for our clients. At least I know we are, for the ones that are it affected, for the refund requirements, and then what needs need to be met for that. But again, not everyone qualifies, but $1 is $1. So look into it for yourself. Again, use those resources below and reach out to your rep on Facebook and see if you qualify, if it did affect you. And you'll be able to tell in your account. So this is what I think is really interesting, because I had a friend who also knew about what happened, and she had reached out to me around the same time that you did. And she was like, did you hear about the Facebook glitch? And I said, no. Well, I said, yeah, I'm talking to Mandy about it right now. And she said, I'm not going to do any more ads on Facebook. And I was like,
Crazy to me.
Why?
It was a glitch. It was a
Why?
glitch.
Yeah, it was a glitch. It
Yeah.
happens. It hasn't happened in a long time. I understand the stress of it. I totally do. I'm an author spending money on there too, and I have clients spending money on there. But then a lot of the reports were, a lot of the articles were saying that a lot of advertisers are pulling out because of it.
That's
And
good
this
for
is,
us.
I know, and this is
You
me over
know?
here going, pull out,
Yeah.
pull out, bye bye. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's great because lower competition. My
Yeah.
CPC gets to go down, which means lower cost for my ads. Yes, please. It didn't affect the people who are on there, the people I'm trying to reach with my ads. It affected advertisers. So I'm very much like, yes, please go ahead and pull
Yeah.
out, which is
I'm
awful.
like,
I'm so
yeah.
mean.
I'm like, yeah, that weekend sucked, you know, but just move on,
Move
you know?
on. Yeah, that doesn't mean that your entire ad strategy needs to be completely changed. If that means that you're like, okay, I don't want to rely on Facebook, we agree. You shouldn't rely on just one ad platform. You should be broadening out AMS, hitting up BookBub, maybe experimenting with Google ads, especially if you're direct. Like there's a whole bunch of options out there. Facebook is not the only game. You know, there's a lot of different tools inside of your marketing toolkit. And if you don't know what those are, stick with us because we'll be covering a lot of those things. However, the biggest thing is to learn from this glitch and move on, right?
Yeah.
Like move on. And if you don't know if you're affected, let's talk about the ultimate points of reference. Like if you're ever affected by glitches, maybe Amazon is having a reporting issue. It
Like
happens,
if that,
right?
well, that happened the month before. Remember when they
Right.
reached the dashboard?
It was
They all had, I
infuriating.
had like 2 clients, that affected them big time. Like,
It did.
you
Mhm.
know?
I had a handful too. It's just it was, and I myself was affected. I uploaded a new release, and that like the day it hit, and I was like, yes, I haven't had a release in like 6 months. My
Yeah.
readers have been excited for this book, and it was like the book never existed. It was the worst thing ever. I was like, and now that ASIN is dirty because nobody picked it up. So yeah, I got a whole, but yeah, it's a glitch though. What do? You can't go in there and demand an audit, right? Like it's Amazon. You can't. But there are steps that we can take and put into place in our marketing and ad strategies. However, I'm going to read this one. If you're watching your sales and ads and conversions over time, you're better equipped to know when something isn't right and or normal, or when things are on a downturn and or upswing. So if you are watching over time, like Mandy and I keep saying, don't look at day over day, look at week over week and month over month and year over year. Compare them that way because reporting gets glitchy. You know, things happen. They just happen. So I feel like that's really important. That's your ultimate point of reference. Another one is make sure you're paying attention to the anomalies. So that doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, it's 12 o'clock and I'm not hitting the exact same amount of sales that I normally hit at 12 o'clock. It's okay, watch and see, because there's nothing you can do about your rank at 12. Like
Yeah.
there's what do you, if you go and you increase, so let's say that you were like, hey, yeah, I want to get my rank up there, and you go and you increase sales at noon, or you increase your ad at noon. That's, let's say you double it. Well, you just threw it into learning. So it's got to hit 50 more touches. So let's say 3 hours. So in 3 hours, that ad will get through the learning period if you've doubled it, right? If it's like $20 to $40, let's say. Obviously, a $5 ad is not going to learn that quickly, or a $10 ad. It's going to take about 24 hours. But let's just say you're going from $20 to $40. What you just did is you threw it back into learning. And so then after about 3 hours, then the people will be able to start. And that's if they'll start to buy. Your rank might be affected, but at the same time, your rank might be behind by a couple hours simply because Amazon is behind by a couple hours or a day. Like,
Yeah.
haven't we seen that? You know, like, so to be reactionary inside of an hour standpoint or a day standpoint is a very unsafe place to be. And it's very stressful. It's a
Very.
very,
Yeah.
can you, when I
Just
have,
step away.
step away.
Calm down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have your plan, stick to your plan, do the things in your plan. For instance, you know, if you're looking at like 2020 versus 2019, they're going to be two drastically different things. And I've seen a lot of authors who made a lot of money in 2020, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Yay, that's great. But 2021 hit and they still did really good. Then 2022, and now things are starting to get back to normal. And we talk about this a lot, but this is normal
Mhm.
fluctuation. This is, and then we have a lot of things. A lot of authors are starting to go direct again. So Brandon Sanderson did an awesome thing with his Kickstarter. He actually opened up readers' eyes and they're like, oh, I actually don't have to just buy from Amazon or Barnes and
Yeah.
Noble or whatever. And
Mhm.
now readers are starting to get out there and they're starting to buy from authors, which is a great
Great.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. So the more authors who go direct, the more readers are actually going to be interested in going, like following them, following a bunch of people. Oh, yeah, she sells direct and she sells direct. I'll just buy from both of them. It's not a big deal. So they'll get more, they'll get more used to it, which is a good thing for BookFunnel, which is like the main delivery system. But anyways, all of that to say that if you're not watching out, not watching for the different market fluctuations, and you're not watching for the anomalies, the glitches will come and you won't be sure what happened. You're not going to be sure what's going on. And we really just want you to just be prepared. Make sure you have a plan in place. Stick to your plan, stick to your brand. Make sure that the things that you're trying to do are consistent. And I think consistency is a big deal. I think that's what this is teaching us is if you're consistent and you're not reactionary, Facebook, for instance, the Facebook glitch, you can just go in and say, hey, I normally spend this much by this time. You what spent. I'd like you to look at my account and see if I qualify for a refund.
Give me
Easy.
some money back. Yeah.
Yeah, give me some money back. No stress. It is what it is. You do it, you move on to the next part. It's not a stressful thing. Yeah. Well, this has been our random facts, random talk, whatever Thursday.
This is our chit chat with Bonnie and Mandy.
Yeah, just chit chat. So we do this the third Thursday of every month. So if you have a random thing that you'd like to chat about, maybe you could join us with a chat. We would love to hear from you. Just go ahead and go to our website and sign up. Don't forget that we have a free Facebook group where we talk all things marketing and ads, and we would love to have you in there. And we have some great tips and tricks, Marketing Mondays coming up, as well as some fun spotlights and ad account audits. And gosh, we've got so much going on, and we're just busy. It's so much fun. Hit like and subscribe and bring a friend because success is always better. Oh, and Mandy, what do we always say?
Make sure you have a goal.
Make sure you're sticking to your brand.
And make sure you're having fun.
Yes. All right, guys, we will see you on the next one. Talk to you soon.